Good afternoon and welcome back to The Zip, Deadline Detroit's weekly newscast. You might recall that last week we told you about Detroit City Councilman Gabe Leland. He was indicted for allegedly soliciting a $15,000 bribe to help a businessman. This week he issued a statement to the media. "I'm innocent until proven guilty. That's my statement until further notice." Gabe, what a lame denial. Look at how the pros do it.
And I think, too, that I could say that in my years of public life, that I welcome this kind of examination, because people have got to know whether or not their president is a crook. Well, I'm not a crook.
But I want to say one thing to the American people. I want you to listen to me. I'm going to say this again. I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Did Nixon say, "I'm not a crook until you can prove otherwise"? Did Bill Clinton say, "I did not have sexual relations with that woman"? Well, unless you find that stained blue dress with my DNA. Work on it, Gabe. Work on it. And how boring was the Tiger season? Well, the most exciting thing was when announcers Mario Impemba and Rod Allen got into an altercation in September in Chicago. The Zip has obtained some exclusive footage of that battle. Now, the second biggest story is that they've been fired. So thank you, Mario and Rod, for making the season noteworthy at least. And oops, I forgot. There was one other big story this season at Comerica Park. One worker was charged with spitting in a pizza he was making. But there is good news. We learned this week that he's been cleared of any infectious diseases. Now, I think Little Caesars should take advantage of that news with a catchy new slogan. Maybe Little Caesars Pizza, disease-free since 1959? Freep columnist Mitch Albom has a new book out, The Next Person You Meet in Heaven. I haven't read it yet, but Washington Post critic Ron Charles mocks it in a very hysterical video review.
Toward the very end, after Annie has met her quartet of heavenly ushers, she asks a loved one, "Why are you here?" And he tells her, "The winds blew." And so did this novel.
And that says it all. City officials are always bragging about the improved response times from Detroit Police Department. But Ross Jones of WXIZ reports it took police 4 days and 34 minutes to respond to a 911 call in September. It involved a man who was beating up his girlfriend. The mother of the woman called 911 5 times that day. How do we make sure this never happens again? We have a suggestion. How about we take 4 days and 34 minutes to respond to 911 calls at the Manoogian Mansion? That might get someone's attention. Bill and Hillary Clinton will appear at the Fox Theater in April. It's part of a 13-city tour billed as a history of their careers in public service and current events. Maybe these students of politics can explain why they ran such a poor campaign in Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. And nanny Candace Strang of Brighton is going nowhere no nannies need apply. She's headed to prison for anywhere from 2 to 15 years for bilking Good Samaritans out of more than $30,000 by faking cancer. Note to Candace, don't try that trick in prison. And tonight at Little Caesars Arena, the winless Red Wings take on the first-place Toronto Maple Leafs. If they keep going at this rate, the biggest story about their season will be replacing the red seats with the black seats, so the place doesn't look so empty. That's all today for The Zip. Check our website, www.deadlinedetroit.com, throughout the day for updated news. And we will see you next week.